Hi everyone. In this video, I'd like to guide you through a core reflection we use in our mindful living class called the 3 zones of experience. It's a simple framework that helps us explore how we respond to different situations, especially moments of stress, learning, or discomfort. If we were in a classroom together, you'd see 3 ropes laid out in concentric circles on the floor. The innermost circle is the comfort zone. The middle circle is the challenge zone. And the outer circle is the overwhelm zone. Since we're working virtually, I invite you to use your imagination and inner awareness to walk through this exercise with me. Here is a diagram of the 3 zones. So let's begin in the comfort zone, the space of familiarity and ease. Take a moment to reflect. What does your comfort zone look like in your daily life? What activities and routines and environments help you feel safe and steady? How does your body feel in your comfort zone? Perhaps calm, open, settled. The comfort zone is a valuable zone. It gives us space to rest, to integrate the day or experiences, and it offers us a space to reflect. But if we stay here all the time, we may begin to feel stuck or avoidant or lacking situations that we can learn and grow. So here are some elements of the comfort zone: familiarity and predictability, routines and habits. There's little risk. It feels perhaps cozy. There's minimal stress. There's more ease. In essence, it's a safe haven, a place where you can relax and reflect and make sense of things. Sometimes during class, when we use this activity, people feel and identify that they don't have a comfort zone. And that's an important reflection as well. And so please know you're not alone if that's your experience, but it's something to consider. And with mindfulness and time and some thoughtfulness, you may be able to root and make changes so that you do have a comfort zone in your life, a reliable place that you can return to. And so the next zone is the challenge or learning zone. So now imagine stepping out into this challenge zone, into a space that feels less familiar. This is where you typically may try something new, take a healthy risk, or feel the edge of discomfort. It might be starting a new habit, choosing to have an important yet difficult conversation, or showing up vulnerably in class or in group. So in this zone, ask yourself, what does it feel like when I step into a challenge? What physical sensations arise? And what helps me stay grounded here instead of flipping into overwhelm? This zone is often where growth happens, where we stretch ourselves a bit, and there's learning, and actually even surprise ourselves. We might feel nervous, but we have some sense of being resourced. We can reflect, we can adapt. We're still connected to the breath, to support, to choices. So in review, in the challenge zone, It's places in your life or experiences that feel less familiar, less secure. It's like you're stepping into unknown territory. There's some uncomfortable feeling, some sense perhaps of fumbling and awkwardness. Yet there's opportunities for new discoveries. You're expanding your abilities and your limits. And there's this sense of rising to the occasion, that you give it your best shot because there's something that's important, there's a sense of something valuable that is present in this experience or activity that is challenging you. So now imagine you're stepping further into the overwhelm zone. So this is when things start to feel like too much, emotionally, mentally, or physically. And this nervous system is going into overdrive. You might feel frozen, reactive, panicked, or a sense of disconnection inside of yourself. This is where Dan Siegel calls flipping your lid. This is where the stress response kicks in, and the thinking part of the brain temporarily goes offline. In this space, our focus is no longer on growth. It shifts more into survival. It's the fight, flight, freeze zone where we're really ramped up. And even though this space is no longer focused on growth, but just trying to survive, that's okay. It's not failure. It's just a sign that you've moved beyond your current capacity and you've moved beyond your perceived sense of resources to bring to the situation, the activity, or the experience. And it's important to be aware, what are the signs for me that I've crossed into overwhelm? Because that can guide you to this next question to ask yourself. What will help me step back into more safety or even into my comfort zone to regroup? What are the resources that I have? And again, this is where our practices that we've been learning through the body scan, breath awareness, that we begin to become more intimate to our body sensations so that we can pick up, oh, this is really overwhelming for me, rather than muscling through or freezing, taking that pause we talked about that's so important so that we can consciously and mindfully take care of ourselves and attend to what's needed in the moment. So again, in review, the overwhelm zone is the tipping point, a feeling of, I can't cope. You're pushed beyond your own perceived abilities to cope. And again, this perceived is an important aspect of this zone. This is where we flip our lid. Exhaustion, burnout can occur if we stay in this zone. Or in the actual experience, you may find that the sensations of overwhelm or feeling difficulties and exhaustion can travel with you for an extended period of time because these fight, flight, freeze hormones, stress hormones, are still in your system. So activities like going for a walk, journaling, doing things to help shift and use up the stress hormones in a positive way can be helpful. This zone also depending on your style of coping with overwhelm, is you may have the habit of just muscling through, and that's very difficult on the body. Or suppressing things, suppressing the pain, have habits that help you to suppress. This is areas where addiction can arise, um, to all sorts of substances or habits, overeating or alcohol or anorexia, um, bulimia, when sustained in the overwhelm zone, can come forward because we're just in a place where we don't know what to do. It's too overwhelming and we need to suppress it. Just to take a moment to pause and see what this material might be, how it's landing for you in this moment. Taking that deep breath if there's areas that were perhaps overstimulating or stimulated, some sense of triggering or some insight. Each of us moves through these zones in one way or another all the time. The key is not to avoid challenge or fear discomfort, but to build awareness. And what's most important is to build awareness around the edges of each one of these zones, so that mindfulness can help us pause at these borders, notice what's arising, and respond with care rather than reactivity or falling into unhelpful patterns. So as you move through your day and the weeks ahead, I invite you to check in. Where am I right now? Am I in the comfort zone, challenge, or overwhelm? What will support me here? What's needed? What can I learn from the way I move through these zones? So in closing, notice transitions this week. Notice how your body, your mind, and your emotions shift from one zone to the next. And remember, there's no right place to be. Each one of these zones teaches us something important. So they're just a fact of life. So it's important for us to be present, as we've been saying, to what is here and to befriend it, to welcome it as a way to tap into your mindfulness practices and to tap into your own inner wisdom. And also, as you practice your yoga poses, this zone can be also very, very helpful. So listening to your body as you do each one of the poses, moving into the challenge of a pose, feeling that stretching, feeling the muscles being called upon to be stretched or to be used in a way that's unfamiliar, holding the pose, paying attention when you're moving too close or you're over into the overwhelm zone where injury could happen, and pulling back. And then through those poses that you've been given, there's resting periods to integrate back into the comfort zone, to pay attention. How is your body responding to what it just been asked to do? And so it's moving through each one of these zones, and it gives you a wonderful opportunity to, in an embodied way, to look at these borders and these edges and to respond wisely. So thank you for taking this journey with me through the three zones of experience. And I look forward to hearing how this activity supports you in the weeks ahead. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.